Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis, and a very warm welcome to my channel. Today is the 17th of December, 2024, and we're going to be looking at the energy of the drones that we are seeing in the skies, particularly in USA, although not exclusively, centered around New Jersey, but not exclusively. And this was a subject, to be perfectly honest, that I wasn't going to touch with a barge pole. I rolled my eyes last week and said, I don't want to look at it. It just feels as though it's a complete distraction. It came up around the same time of a few years ago when I was recording a video for you on the monoliths that had been cropping up over the world, or particularly again USA, and we looked at what was behind that, who was behind that, what was the purpose of it, and then of course the attention on that sort of vanished, and we're not talking about monoliths anymore, we're talking about drones. And I felt, but I am going to go into it today, but how I felt last week was this is just another energy coming in to, yes, distract us, but also to make us question. And I don't know, I mean, we're in a world, aren't we, where we're learning discernment. We are increasingly asked to question everything, or we certainly should be learning to question everything, particularly what we're told by powers that were, or more importantly, what we're not told by powers that were. So I just thought, no, this just doesn't feel something I want to cover. But things have sort of accelerated a little bit since then. And more than anything, I'm coming on because I can sense there is some fear out there in the community, not necessarily in this community, although some of you might be a little bit concerned or worried about it. But I'm all about the energy of ascension, awakening, and that is fueled by the energy of love. And the opposite energy to love is fear. So if we have something out there in our skies, in our minds, interestingly, the sky and the element of air and the mind are linked, which is causing fear, we need to effectively shoot that down, excuse the pun. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to come on, I'm going to address the big questions. I've already tuned in a little bit. I'm going to show you a few cards that I got on this yesterday, but I am going to come in with an open mind. Having said that, I am going to tell you what's in my mind now and what I've got as a hit about all of this, and then we'll see whether it's the same towards the end of the video, whether I have changed my mind based on what comes in, because we're all starting off with some perception of what we think it might be, and that could be based on prejudice, bias, past experiences that have taught us something, fear, mistrust, I don't know, or a sense of wonder and hoping it is the aliens in the sky coming to save us. I can pretty much assure us that it isn't that. I don't feel this is galactic at all. In fact, if anything, I feel as though Ashtar, Commander Ashtar, Galactic Federation of Light, leading the Galactic Army, is pretty insulted that we, as a species, would think that is the best that they can come up with. But anyway, I don't think it's galactic. I think it's man-made. It's probably far closer to home in terms of the actual origin of it. But what is the purpose of it is the big question. But I will bring Ashtar in. I will also bring in the energy of Archangel Metatron, both of whom are here. And actually, I'm also going to bring in the energy of Jesus, because I'm going to show you the first card on all of this. I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about. If not, just go onto Google, have a look at drones in the sky over New Jersey and get yourself up to speed. But I think most of us know what I'm going on about. There's plenty of video evidence, photographs of what is happening, right? And also government now talking about it, responding to questions about it, even if they're sort of stonewalling a little bit. So yesterday I picked up my Christ Consciousness deck and I thought, okay, talk to me about the drones. And as I was shuffling the deck, I thought, this deck probably isn't going to answer the question, why are you picking up the Christ Consciousness deck? But Jesus has an answer for everything, does he not? And I couldn't believe the card that came up. Those of you that have got my deck, the Christ Consciousness deck, can you see this card? Hopefully it's clear. If not, I'll explain to you what it is. We have a young, what's meant to be a young Buddhist monk in training, dressed in his orange robes, orange being the colour of enlightenment. And he is praying. He is trying to find stillness, contemplation and connection via the energy of prayer set against a busy cityscape. So we have the skyline in the background, we have the tall buildings, but more than anything, we have the planes in the sky. So for planes, let's replace that with drones, okay? So with the drones overhead, this student in training of enlightenment, an enlightenment student in training, which is all of us, is connecting into prayer. Interesting I said that. Police, let's just note that down in a minute. I'll look at that. Is it peace? Maybe with police presence, unrest, fear, what is in the skies, what are they doing? And of course, we shouldn't forget the fact that, of course, we've got two planes here. I didn't think I was really going to go here, but there's two planes in this sky over a skyline that looks a bit like it could be New York. So it takes me also to the energy of the Twin Towers, and whatever you believe about that, whether you believe the official story or whether you believe there is another narrative in play, is maybe for another day for us to talk about. But the end result is the same. How can we stay centered and at peace and connected to spirit when we have, I keep being shown the drones like gnats, like mosquito bites. In fact, I'm realizing now I had a dream about mosquito bites last night, interestingly. I haven't actually woken up covered in any at all, but I definitely had a dream about mosquito bites. This is the thing, the drones energetically feel like gnats. They feel like mosquito energy, the type of thing that we want to swat away, that are annoying, a bit like wasps as well. Go to a picnic and, straight away, we had one barbecue this year in our garden and the wasps just came and ruined the whole thing. We all ran inside. But it's a bit like that. So it's like a nuisance energy more than anything. Is it something deeper and more nefarious? Yes, because I believe that the underlying energy behind it, and whoever is behind it, is about the energy of fear, either inducing fear or responding to something which is fearful. So isn't that an amazing card? So the energy from Christ Consciousness is saying the power of prayer can also clear the skies. I think that I'm talking to a very wise community here, and I know that you know a lot of stuff. And I know that you know that many people have been expecting Project Bluebeam, which effectively is a big psyop to potentially take place or not take place in our skies, fake alien invasion, that type of thing. Now, if you just think about that, and even if it's at the back of your mind and you're thinking that's a load of old crap, or if it's at the front of your mind and you're thinking that's the last tool in their armoury, you are still thinking about it. And we know that thought creates reality. Thought creates reality. Everything that you see in the external world, be it a drone, a wasp, a bee, a mosquito, or the brightest beautiful rose, has come via thought form. I want to see beauty. I see beauty in the rose. I am worried and I'm fearful about this world and it's getting worse. And the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to be invaded. You see the invasion coming from the sky. So remember that we are powerful manifestors is the first thing to say. And we need to be quelling this energy of fear, but also, as William T. Stead always teaches, controlling our minds. We can clear the skies is what I'm hearing. And I realise as I'm saying that, that also has other implications, not just linked into drones, but linked into pollution in our skies as well. Okay, so I will just say here that I have written down some of the theories that are out there, and then I'm going to respond to them with, my own intuition, the guides and cards. So, number one, some of the theories: Project Bluebeam, fake alien invasion. Number two, somehow it's linked into the inauguration and trying to derail the inauguration, stop it from happening. Is it linked into the fact that these drones are looking for something? In particular, are they looking for some sort of radioactive material, a missing nuke? These are some of the theories that are out there, okay? As well as maybe an actual genuine alien invasion, or I've heard people also talking about the fact it's evidence that the aliens are somehow monitoring us and keeping us safe. I still want to put that to bed and say that aliens don't show up in that way, okay? Aliens absolutely can, and I hate the word alien, galactic energies, the galactic race can and do protect this world, can and do dismantle warheads, nuclear warheads, but they don't turn up looking like that, okay? More than anything, they turn up silently, they slide in, they slide out, okay? It's a very smooth operation. So for me, whatever these things are in our sky, they feel man-made, they feel of the 3D realm, not the 5D realm, because the 5D realm is about love, not fear. So they're 3D material objects created by man. Put it this way, if I was going to go into a betting office today and place a bet on this, I would say they are more likely American-made than anything. But I might be wrong. I am willing to put my hand up and say I'm wrong there. But more than anything, I definitely feel the energy of psyop and manipulation via the media and powers that were. Why do I say this? Yes, it is on the backdrop of recent history. But is it just recent history? I think the more of us that are waking up to the truths in our world are realising that we've been played a lot of the time, and that a lot of what we have been led to believe is true often isn't. And one of the first cards that I pulled off camera yesterday, okay, I'm going to pull more cards today, but I'm just going to show you where I've got up to, which isn't far at all. I've got about 5 cards out. But the first card that came out was from the Citadel deck, which talks about archetypes. And it's this one. And it says, the painter, and it says, productivity and creation. It looks like the curtains in an old-fashioned theatre hall. And it's as though the, God, I remember those days when the theatre curtains used to, on a cinema, I'm sure that used to happen as well, the cinema curtains used to drop down and come up and all the rest of it. And anyway, this is a big production. Somebody is putting on a big production. And actually, I mean, I think it's stretching it to say it's creative, because if that's the best they can do, please. We live in the 21st century, you know? But according to the card, this is a great creation that someone feels it's a great creation. I mean, it's having an effect because people are in fear. Some people are. I'm not mocking that, because also the point to remember is that even if we're not frightened by something, we're all frightened by something else, because fear is a primal shared emotion that we all have. So someone's putting on a production, basically. And the other card that came up with that, I drew 2, was this one. It's called The Witch, and it says experimentation and rebellion. Experimentation and rebellion. Now, that card was leading me to feel as though there was these drones in the sky, which, remember what a drone is, it's actually scanning the environment, it's looking, it's searching, it's taking photographs, etc., or film. Is this linked into some type of, it sounds obvious, surveillance? It's a surveillance system. And why is the surveillance system in the sky? Are they either planning a rebellion, or do they feel as though rebellion is coming? We can't get away from the fact that this is all happening pretty much a month away from the inauguration of Donald Trump, who, whether you like him, whether you don't like him, we know that there is a significant proportion of people that don't want to see him regain power. And in fact, will do anything to prevent that from happening. So is it a planned protest, rebellion, or is it something else? I don't know. But those are the two cards that we've got. A production, a big creation, and we've also got it linked into rebellion and experimentation and the witch. At which point I feel as though we also need to bring in the energy of Merlin, actually, because the guides that I feel that can help solve this conundrum, and it is a conundrum, and the other thing is about this is really important. You might have to watch this video in a couple of goes to take in everything I'm saying. Think about the production. Think about a play that you go and see. Think about a cinema film that you go to see. It is in different parts. The beginning is not the same as the middle bit, and the middle bit is not the same as the end. There are specific different segments to what is playing out right now in our skies and also at ground level. So it's as though you might be able to get a handle on what you think this is all about right now. And it's like, oh, okay, I've solved it. Right. Yeah, that's what it is. And then whoever is who is controlling this, wherever this is coming from, they will flip the script. And it's done deliberately to confuse, to derail, to keep people off the scent of what is really going on. So as soon as you think you've worked it out, or somebody else has worked it out, the script will flip, and it will come into a different phase of whatever this is. So put it this way. I'm not saying it has to happen in this way, but this is an example. At the moment, the drones in the sky feel fairly benign. They're not really doing much. If this was a movie screen, they're not attacking anybody. They're not doing anything. They're just there. People are looking at them. Maybe some people are thinking we need to shoot them down, but we're in that phase of it. The next phase could be different. The drone energy could go, for example, into attack mode. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just using it as an example that don't get complacent with regards to this phase, because the next phase will be different. And I feel as though it's going to be in three phases, three parts of the play, because I do feel this is a play. I'm also being told there's going to be a time when it goes silent. Now, I think this is more to do with, maybe, okay, I'll interpret. Sometimes you shouldn't interpret messages you get from spirit. Maybe I should just say what I've just said, which is I'm hearing one phase is that it goes silent. Is that to do with actual silence, deafening silence? What would that mean? Would that mean that communications went down, or the internet went down? I don't know, potentially. Or is it, my first thought when I heard Spirit say it goes silent, just that they, for a few days, few weeks, they're just not there anymore. And it's like, oh, well, that's all over then. Well, that was interesting. Don't know what that was. Back to normal. And then they come back, but they come back in a different form, or a different swarm shape, or different size, or emitting different colours, or just behaving in a different way. Or it could be that they go silent in a particular place where they've been, but then they pop up somewhere else. And I'm feeling this then starts to travel across the world. I do believe there've been drone sightings in my country, the UK, actually, over some of the military bases. I'm pretty sure that's already happened. But I just feel as though there might be other places where we start to see them. I'm being drawn to India for some reason, don't know why. Okay, all right, one thing that I'm feeling now that I'm getting, I'm also now being shown Italy, the two eyes, Italy, India. I'm seeing China, I'm seeing countries where there are, if not the birthplaces of major world religions, certainly which hold an energy of traditional religion, but different types of religion. So in Italy, for example, where the Vatican is, we've got a huge Catholic energy. India, it's going to be different. It's going to be different there, whether it's Sikhism, Buddhism, or anything else. Hindu went out of my mind for some reason. I was thinking, for goodness sake, why can't you think what it is? Hinduism. So there's a potential timeline here where drones can show up in countries which have a strong rooting of a traditional religious belief system. So USA would be Christianity. I know not all Americans are Christians, but, just hear me out here. It's where the roots are. And it's designed that way so that the drones appear and it helps people of different religious beliefs to start to question. So the thing about all of this is that even if whoever's doing this is doing it from a nefarious reason, we know that light always wins against darkness. And we know that we're in times where anything that they do, where they plan to try to bring fear and chaos, ultimately gets derailed. And what happens is actually it's an own goal. It becomes an own goal. So something that's in the sky designed to create fear, beyond who's doing it, at a deeper level, makes people start to question and look up to the sky and just plant a seed that might not have been there before, which is, are we actually alone? We know these aren't genuine aliens out there, with these drones, okay? But I'm talking about an unawakened group of people who are represented in all countries on earth, all religious systems as well, because awakening is just like the lotus flower, the opening up to what we do not know. So it's also about expanding and evolving what the human race actually believes in, and whether the traditional religious archetypal systems can either evolve and move with these times of greater awakening and consciousness, or whether they're going to be very stuck and no, this is the way it is, and this is what was said 2,000 years ago, so this is the way it's always going to be. Yes, so, okay. Right, let's move on. What else have I got? Let me just see what else I've written down here. Yeah, so what I'm really basically saying is that Ashtar is saying, over and above who's doing this, that the end result can be that it's like a soft acclimatization is what he's saying. It isn't us, but it can be used to raise the subject of our presence. Yeah? It can be used to raise the subject of our presence. And I'm sure I've channeled before, I can't remember in what context, this thing about looking up to the stars, looking up to the sky, can only bring to anybody that really does it with an open heart and an open mind, deeper questioning about our existence, who we are, where we come from and where we go. I've got a friend who actually is an atheist, and, I struggle, I don't struggle with her, I love her, but, I don't really get it, obviously because of who I am and my beliefs, but I respect the fact that she doesn't believe in anything. But even she says, when I look up at the night sky and I see the stars, it does something to me, it just, I start to question. So looking up rather than looking down at the ground the whole time can only be a good thing. This is what I mean, that whatever the intention behind this, it can be an own goal, because actually we can use this as a platform to greater discernment levels, greater questioning levels, going deeper into who we are as a species, and also opening up to the real event. What is the real event? The real event will be the day when humankind is ready to really understand our galactic brothers and sisters. And I have always said to you that they live amongst us, okay? Not in terms of some horrible ghoul at the end of your street, you know, with horns and fangs and slithering, you know, around all over the place. No, we are them. We are them. If you know your galactic origin or have an inkling of, you know, Syrian, Palladian, Arcturian, you're half the way there. You're remembering that you are them and they are you. They walk amongst us because we are them. We're all galactic, really. It's just we're here in a human body and a human shell, pretending that we've forgotten what's really up there. Because that's part of the contract of coming to Earth. You sign the contract, which is, I've said this before, I'm going to squeeze myself into a tiny little toothpaste tube, which is my body, and forget a huge part of actually what I already know, because I want an experience of what it is to be human, yes, but we all also have particular things that we are wanting to work through or experience. And I'm increasingly realizing that we can only do that with laser-like focus on that particular relationship, that particular circumstance that I find myself in, this particular country that I'm born into, this particular restriction, this particular challenge. I need to feel that and experience all of that to become what I need to become, and then I take that back out when I exit this earth plane and add it to the huge jigsaw that's already up there, that's the missing piece that's needed. But if I remembered the whole jigsaw and the whole experience of everything else, I wouldn't be able to stay focused on one thing whilst I'm down here. And by the one thing, I'm talking about the contracts, you know, the really important parts of being human. When you die and you look back and you think, yeah, you know, I either worked it out with mum or I didn't. You know, I either, I don't know, discovered what real love is and was able to stay committed, or I didn't. Or maybe my lifetime was one where I wanted to have an experience where I didn't want to be committed and I wanted to be a free spirit. And I learned that. And how fantastic was that? Anyway, okay, let's get back on point. Okay, I've got some questions to pose to the cards in a minute, but just 3 other cards that I pulled yesterday. This is from a shamanic deck called, I don't know what it's called. I'll put it below. Mystical Shaman Oracle. The first card that came out was the owl, and I thought that was really interesting. Remember, this is all about drones, so we've got the owl. What does the owl do? The owl is like the all-seeing eye, okay? The owl sees everything. The owl is also a symbol of divine feminine strength and wisdom. And the divine feminine as an energy, okay, not as a person, as an energy. And remember, the divine feminine energy is what's coming into our world. Can see through this, can see through what this is. You know, that owl isn't looking particularly impressed, you know. But the owl sees all. The owl is about wisdom. The owl is about discernment. This is a huge exercise for us in, again, another one. We're going to have lesson after lesson. It's going to keep coming in, guys, until we get it as a species. Can you discern? Can you see through? Can you understand what this really is about? Can you put the pieces of the jigsaw together? Can you look at the timing? Can you look at maybe why this might be happening now? All of that type of thing. So we have the owl as the totem, and of course the owl comes out at night as well, as a lot of these drones are as well. And then the two next cards really intrigued me as well, because they both show pointy arrows or blades. We've got the arrow and the blade, but more than anything, it's the energy of something coming up, something coming up. So it made me feel as though these were energies that were coming up from the earth. Now, okay, I'm hearing here spirits saying, energies coming up from the earth. This is a questioning from mankind also. I really understand that some people might not understand what I'm saying here. Hopefully most of you are, because if you're coming to this video just with tell me what the drones are about, and yes, I understand that, but it's so much more than that. This whole phenomena is about raising consciousness, and they're only there because we are allowing them to be there. And that's true of anything in the human condition right now. Anything that you see played out there right now is a result of where the human condition is, where the human collective consciousness is. Another pandemic, we are helping to create that by our baseline energy of fear. If we could raise our frequency enough as a whole collective, we would be able to look out there and see a completely different landscape and paradigm. And actually, rather than drones in the sky and, oh my God, what are they doing? And is it because there's a missing nuke? It could actually be a timeline of, oh my God, look at the lights in the sky. I have never seen anything like that in my life. I have never seen colours like that in my life. I have never felt energy like that in my life. Oh my God, this truly is an off-world experience. I cannot believe what my eyes are seeing. This is so beautiful. I don't have words to describe it. The energy that's coming towards me from these lights in the sky are nothing that I have ever experienced before. This is beyond words. This is love. But this is not even love. This is beyond love. This is something that is just so off earthly constraints. This is the next dimension. This is the next realm. This is ecstasy. This is beautiful. We can create that, but we don't choose to. Everything, the politicians on our stage, the wars, the horrors, the murders, it's all coming up from the collective gut, is what Metatron is saying. The collective gut. And very much like the gut in our body, which if it is toxic and needing detox and not cared for, can lead to all types of illness in the body. We're learning more and more, aren't we, that disease in the body comes from the gut. Well, so too does the disease, the toxicity, the wars, the disasters, the fear. It comes from the gut and the belly of humanity. And where is fear stored in the body? The belly, the gut. So it all comes back to the gut of humanity. But we need to be rising so that we respond from our heart, Okay. So we have the blade and the arrow. The other thing about this is, of course, this can also represent, it's just getting back to a slightly more mundane level. Oh, no, let's not. No, we have to also respond from a 3D perspective to something that is 3D. At a 3D level, it's like, yeah, let's shoot them down. Let's shoot them down. Is there going to be some type of strategy to shoot them down? And again, I'm feeling a very machismo energy coming in, sort of like some sheriff riding into town. Don't worry. It's literally just feels like a film script. Don't worry, we've got this. It's like a movie playing out. It really feels like a movie playing out. Are we all in a bit of a matrix? Yes. But the point is that let's go back to this card, we can switch this off. We don't have to participate in it. Beyond, yes, we can discuss it, we can talk about it, that's what we're doing on this video. But put it this way, after I've finished recording this, am I going to be worrying about it and fretting about it and searching for new photographs of it? No, I'm not, because, no, I'm not. Right. let's pull a few more cards. I've got a few questions here and I've got a few different decks and we'll just see where we go. I don't even know if some of these decks are even going to be able to answer the question, although like the Christ Consciousness deck, maybe they can. This is the Magical Dimensions deck by Lightstar. It does have a galactic feel to it because it's called Magical Dimensions. Okay, let's see. One card from this deck, please, for the subject being discussed. We have the Guardians, shielding, defense, and warning. And we have gateway, mystery, voyage, and travel. Let me just tune into the cards before I show them to you. We've also got shifting frequencies. Okay, well, yeah, this deck is good. This is answering a question. The Guardians, shielding, defense, and warning. I feel as though this is going to be used as an excuse for another chapter of what I want to call space wars. That we have to, not only do we have to spend a lot of money, billions of pounds that we can't afford fighting wars in a different land, we're also now going to be spending millions and billions of pounds defending ourselves from an enemy that probably doesn't even exist, and indeed the enemy is probably within. That's truly what I feel, because it says warning, defense, shielding, but what are you shielding yourself from? What are you actually shielding yourself from? I can't quite see because I haven't got my glasses on, but I think this woman here who looks like an angel, it's as though she is sort of trying to shoot something down from the sky. But the point is that card, that we have to create a shield, a bit like something like they have in Israel, you know, where they have that dome, don't they? The defense dome over the country. I can see countries using this as a potential excuse to do that. But why are they doing it really? Because is there really a threat? This is what the threat is. This is what the threat is. The threat is the gateway of rising frequencies in our world. Once people really understand that we are able to shift out of all this crap, basically, you know, all this fear, all this war, all this toxicity, all this division, all this polarization. There's a gateway here which humanity is asked to go through, and the gateway says mystery, voyage, and travel, and we get there via shifting our frequencies. That's what they're frightened of. That's what they're frightened of. That actually there's enough people on this planet right now who are raising their frequency to a sufficient degree that we are moving towards this gateway. What is this gateway? This gateway is fifth dimensional consciousness and beyond, seventh dimensional consciousness. This is unity consciousness. This is people waking up to, why the hell am I fighting my brother or sister in a far off land when actually they are my brother and sister? The warlords, the leaders, that are elected, yes, but again, they are only there because we are manifesting in that we need a leader to protect us because we are weak. We have no defences. The big bogeyman over there, whoever you believe the big bogeyman is, there'll always be somebody, because the media are drumming up the fact that they exist and he's that or she's that. This is the latest enemy, you know. Once we are able to become like the Buddhist monk who seeks just unity, peace, reconciliation within himself, but with each other, we realise that there is no need for war anymore. And the leaders that embody the energy of war and want war will be no more. The show will be over. Their show will be over. So in many ways, you know, these are really great cards because they're saying we're closer to that gateway than we think we are. If anything, I'm just hearing, I mean, the next card in the deck says it. It says perseverance, tenacity, persistence, and recover. Okay? So we have the lion energy. Illyrian, Syrian energy in particular, but all of them. But I do feel, and I have a Syrian energy myself, Galactic I'm talking here, I think there are potential new military leaders to arise who have that type of galactic blood within them, or a remembrance of that. So brilliant cards there, absolutely brilliant cards. Let me show you again. So the warning that we need to shield ourselves from these drones, the danger. But why really the shield is going up and the fear is being amped up is because we're getting closer to raising our frequency. And the lion comes through and says, persevere. It's very Narnia-like. There is another kingdom behind the wardrobe door. And it's a beautiful place, you know. It's nothing to be scared of. Let's bring in the energy of Ashtar at this point. Commander Ashtar, Galactic Federation. Not something I've ever really associated with Ashtar before. It's more of a Metatron quality, but it's definitely Ashtar I've got here. He's reminding me about the importance of humour, laughter, to raise the vibration, to laughter, the energy of laughter, the energy of, yeah, it's that. Where's my Buddha? I know I'm talking Ashtar, but I believe they all work with each other. We've got Buddha here, we've got Ashtar here, we've got Merlin here, we've got Metatron here, we've got Jesus here, we've got me here, we've got you here, we're all here. The laughing Buddha, the fat belly, you know, whatever's going on around the world. He's not laughing at the situation around the world. What the Buddha is able to do is sit in this place of raising the frequency via the joy. Yes, I've definitely got the energy of the Buddha here. Ashtar feels, I can feel his presence here. He always comes in, it's like a cold energy that I feel. I know he's here, but it's as though, I hate to say it, guys, he's not disinterested in us. He loves us. He loves this planet. It's a bit like having called in teacher to a problem that you can solve on your own. That's the feeling I'm getting. It's like, you've brought me in to really talk about this. You know, you really think that's us? You really think that's us? It's almost like an insult. It's like being in, imagine you're doing A-level maths, you know, so whatever it's called in other countries, you're 16 to 18, you're doing that grade of maths, or you're at university doing a maths degree, and you call in teacher to help you add up 2 plus 2. And he's like, what? You surely can work this one out for yourself, can't you? Yeah, we can. We can, thank you. But can you help the people who can't, Ashtar? Can you help the people that can't? I just get this energy from him that you can't drag anybody to where they don't want to be. If people want to believe these are aliens in the sky, they're going to believe they're aliens in the sky. He's saying people are going to perceive what they want to perceive in this, learn what they want to learn from this. And he's saying there's a lot of people who aren't going to learn anything from it because they're not even going to question it or question what might be behind it. Sorry, it was just a message from my daughter coming in. So yeah, Ashtar's a bit, I'm getting the word intolerant today. It just feels a bit frosty. It's a bit like you've called me in for this. I think he's just getting, I say he, Ashtar is an energy. It's the Ashtar energy is frustrated at where we are as a species. Because I get the feeling that the Ashtar command would like to make contact, already have. But it's like, how much longer do we have to wait until people are ready? And it's so easy to blame our governments, that our governments are keeping it from us. When the governments, release the secret files, the governments are only able to keep things secret because the collective consciousness of mankind is not yet at a level where it actually would be able to cope with it. Now, you and I think, can cope with it. But I don't want to be too contentious here. But, if we go back to some of the psyops that have been going on over the last few years and the media manipulation, you can see the level of fear that's still out there. I was talking to somebody the other day. We walked past a car. And this is something we were talking about 3 years ago. There's still people driving around in their cars alone wearing masks. That level of indoctrination of fear is so sad. So sad. So make no mistake that there's part of human consciousness that almost wants to believe the worst, wants to believe that the germs are going to be leaping out of their air conditioning unit in their car, even if they're driving in a desert, because they've been told there's a danger. That type of person wants to be controlled. When humanity can rise up and really and truly choose freedom, we won't, those that try to, when we choose freedom, we won't be able to be controlled. It's as simple as that, whether it's things in the sky or anything else. Okay, one more card from here. This is the 5th card from this deck, and I've got a couple of other decks I want to use as well. Yeah, we've got magical realms, belief, confidence, and co-create. We can co-create something better. If you really want to see the Galactics and the aliens, we can do that. But they're not going to look like these crappy little drones, Also, on top of here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a Merkaba. Can you see that? There's a Merkaba. Did I bring my Merkaba crystal down? Oh, yes, I did. Okay, so let's just tune into the Merkaba as well. Remembering the power of your Merkaba to be able to travel, to be able to transmute, to be able to clear. You can't see it, but probably for 10 years I sat with my old painting of Metatron, who's actually over there, because it's a gigantic painting. I can't get it into shot anymore. I can't speak. He either has his head chopped off, which we don't want, or you can't get him all in. But anyway, the point is, if you remember that painting, Metatron is holding the earth in a Merkaba. Okay, he's holding the earth in a Merkaba. So imagine those of us that are wanting to visualize a better world, a more peaceful world, just maybe over the Christmas period, over the New Year period, just do some work envisioning your state, your country, but really the whole world in a Merkaba, and put into it the qualities that you wish to see. And one of those absolutely should be the energy of freedom, should it not? Okay, I got 2 other decks I was going to use. I've got Ashley's deck, Whispers of the Unsolved, which is very specific and might take us off into a totally different area, but we'll see. If something's meant to come up, it will come up. This is the deck that's got 80 cards, so I have to shuffle it in two piles, as it were. So this is the first pile. Let's just see if there's anything that wants to come through from this deck. Okay, we've got 1. Embezzlement. The card of embezzlement has just flown out upside down, so that's to do with, look, it's that card, money. We've also got the card of contract and paperwork there. So somehow this is linked into money as well. Money is coming up, embezzlement. Someone's earning money off this, or there are contracts that are in danger. Remember the timing of all of this. Okay, that's interesting. That card's come up. Caregiver, medical staff. Remember the timing. A month before Trump gets inaugurated and will be back in power, one of the things that he's going to be doing via the appointment of RFK Jr. is he's going to be shaking up the pharmaceutical companies. Am I saying it's the pharmaceutical companies that are flying the drones? No, I'm just saying that this is an energy that somehow is linked to it. Because there's money. Well, look at it. I mean, it's blinking obvious. Money, embezzlement, upside down. Something that doesn't. We don't want you to see the backhanded deals that have been going on with the contracts linked into caregiver medical staff. More than anything, this is saying to me that this is timed. This is somehow linked into the forthcoming new administration. Do I think it's going to be able to stop it? No, I don't. Not as of today, I don't, no. But put it this way, powers that were are having a good try at... I'm being shown the energy of a flare. You know, like a flare when a boat is in distress and it sends off a flare. It's like a distress signal. They're distress signals of a falling, failing energy. Yeah, we've got the energy of top secret and work. And this has got, you must understand, this has got so much less to do with Democrat versus Republican. This is to do with deep state, to be perfectly honest, versus free state, whatever the alternative is, I really don't know. The people, I want to say, deep state versus the people. These are distress flares of a dying old paradigm. I'll just split the deck there. We've got propaganda, fake news, and the puppet pulling the strings. Let's just go to the other pile from this deck. Oh, it's easier to look at that, we've got aliens. Okay, that one obviously wanted to come up. Aliens, he's got his finger up, but look at that, it's almost as though oh, look at what's on the bottom of the deck. Okay, sorry, can you see the alien card? It's like he's got his finger up as if he's telling us off. That's what I feel from that card. It's like telling us off. No, this isn't us. And then at the bottom we've got this card which says confirm, can't confirm. I just really get, they want, whoever this is behind this, they're wanting to confuse us. They're wanting to confuse us. We can't confirm it, we can't deny it. You know, we don't know what it is. Oh, come off it. Are we really saying that the FBI or CIA or whoever they are in America don't know what this is? Of course they do. Of course they do. Don't take us for fools. Don't take us for fools. So I feel this alien. I just need to tune into this little alien here. What's he trying to say? He's got his finger up. He's got his finger up. I shouldn't do that. He's got his finger up. Alien. Right, what are you trying to say to us? I'm hearing the word preposterous. Preposterous. Preposterous propaganda. And there's an energy coming through. I've got Ashtar here now as well. He has stepped back into my field, which is to do with, I need to try and describe this as I'm feeling it. It's hard to really put this into words. It's as though this little alien that's coming forward is saying, you're not going to use us in the way that humans use each other. So I'm being shown mankind, and I'm being shown how humans use each other, how governments, unfortunately, use its people. I hate to be so cynical, but it's the truth. Otherwise, why would you have a general in an office sending a whole generation off to war and not getting his own hands dirty? It's that type of thing. And it's this, Ashtar's like saying, you're not pulling us into your games. You're not pulling us in. There's a fury. There's a fury. There's an anger here that this is preposterous. Can't confirm, won't confirm. They know that it's not us. That's not to say that aliens don't exist, because I believe they do, and the government knows that as well. But this particular thing that we're talking about, the drones, that isn't us. they're using us. But I'm also feeling here now, there's an energy of anger coming up from an alien race here. And it feels as though these are the ones that have been captured. These are the ones that have been documented. Is it Area 51, you know, Roswell, all of that? I mean, don't quote me on Roswell. I'm just using it as an example off the top of my head. But, you know, captured craft, captured species, and experimentation, and disrespect, and it's like that. To be honest, the way he's holding his finger is like E.T., you know, he's like E.T. phone home. And you remember the end of E.T.? I still can't watch it without crying, because it's all about how absolutely appalling the human race is in terms of how it would treat an alien if it were to land. And the degradation is the word I'm hearing of the species, the lack of humanity by humanity for another species. And it's already happened, of course, because that's what the film is based on. The film's based on real life, is what I'm hearing. Okay, they did that to the aliens and have already done it and are continuing to do it. But it's less a heart consciousness that I'm tapping into with these aliens right now. It's not to say they don't have a heart. It's more that they've got a much more pronounced mind and brain than us, if brain is the right word. Look at the head. Look how big that head is in relation to its body. I'm hearing the word pity. They pity us, actually, for the lack of ability to be able to discern, to evolve. Pity. I mean, I don't blame them for pitying us. I've only got to walk down the high street. I went down into my town yesterday and I came back and I said to one of my girls, I said, you know, I wouldn't mind even leaving here. It felt so... Anyway, I won't even go there. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, humanity not showing itself in the best light. You know, many of us on this community are aghast with how we as human beings behave. So let's not judge the aliens for shaking their head and thinking, what the hell are they? You know, what the hell are these people? You know, why are they behaving like that? Why can't they get past their differences? Because look at that mind, look at that brain power, look at that wisdom, look at that knowledge. But they have compassion for us because they know that we don't know what they know. They know that we are in an unknowing phase. All it takes is to cut the strings here. This fake news propaganda, all it takes is to cut the strings. I'm not saying that the drones aren't in the sky, because I know many of you are living in places where you can see them, okay? What I'm talking about is the way the media will twist it and pretend that the government doesn't really know what's going on, because anything can be used for any motive, and this isn't being used for the best motives. Yeah, split the deck. We've got strategy. Okay, I've got one as well. I'm not going to go there. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I am, guys. Let's just go for it on this video. For those people who say, we can't see you shuffling the cards. No, you can't, because I don't have a camera that drops down and does all of that. I haven't got time for all of that today. You're going to have to trust me. That's part of also ascension and awakening. Vibing with somebody. You know, if you don't vibe with somebody and you feel as though they're lying or manipulating and like cooking the books, as it were, don't watch them, okay? My community trusts me. They know I'm not here making stuff up. Right, what have I got? Strategy came upside down. It might just have been upside down in the deck, so I don't know, but let's just say it's strategy. Next to warning. But what's interesting is we've got the card of self-sabotage next to it. What were the aliens just saying about the fact that as a species we self-sabotage ourselves the whole time? We let ourselves be controlled, okay? We let ourselves be controlled. We also got this one, secret government program, which takes me to the moon landing. I will do a video maybe on the moon landing. I do question why we haven't been there since, to be honest. I know there's all the Stanley Kubrick stuff, isn't there? And don't know how I feel about it, really. Well, I do, actually, but I would come into it afresh. I do question it. We've also got secluded area, so this is a nod to Area 51, I guess. But secret government programme. Yeah, the government knows that aliens are out there. They know that they're here. They know that they walk amongst us. They've already got captured craft. They know damn well that these drones are not galactic spaceships. But we, as a species, love to trip ourselves up. And we love to be... There's part of the population that love to be controlled. You obviously have to have a degree of control in society, otherwise it would be complete anarchy. But the question is the integrity of the ones controlling. Okay. Anything else to say? I think we will... Oh, let's just bring Merlin in, actually. Merlin. Because this whole thing about humans liking being controlled, that's just a recipe, he's saying. That's just a recipe that's been cooked many times and digested and eaten many times. It's a favourite recipe of many people because it makes them feel safe and gives them a warm belly and makes them feel full and satisfied. And if people are satisfied, warm, well-fed, they will comply. But if they're not, then we can get into different territory. But yeah, there's this energy with Merlin, which is about it's time for a new recipe, it's time for a new book, it's time for a new brew, it's time for a new concoction. He's saying, who's going to stir the pot? You see, some of the people that are stirring the pot, i.e. in terms of presenting information to you, are masters. But yet they are the ones who, the unawakened, will be the first to throw the rotten tomatoes at and put in the stocks, as they did in the Middle Ages. Because they are making the people feel unsafe, because they are rocking the boat. But actually all they are really doing is asking people to question. And if what they are presenting is untrue, you as a species should be able to discern and throw that out. So again, with Merlin, very much like Ashtar, there, but also sort of stepping back a little bit in terms of wake up. Wake up. As a species, wake up to your power, to your magic, to your alchemy, to your ability to manifest anything. I got Merlin saying it's almost as though what this is in terms of these drones and how they look, it's like it's been manufactured out of a garbage can, you know? Back to what I was channeling before about what we could create. It's funny, actually, I've got my computer on in front of me, and I always play meditation music. You can't hear it, but I've got it on very quietly in the background, and it's got a picture of a butterfly, and it's over this gigantic lotus flower lying on a lily pad on the most beautiful tranquil water. And the butterfly is got the most beautiful colours you've ever seen. It's purple, fuchsias, golds, turquoise. There are other lilies that are standing upright around the open lily in the centre of the lake. There is magical lights in the sky. This is beautiful, actually. It's from I'll link it below, but it's a website called Soothing Harmony. It's 1111 hertz. Remove all blockages, receive love, wealth and blessings from the universe. Yeah, if we could just only open ourselves up to the blessings that are out there. So, in essence, no, not galactic. Yes, man-made. My hunch would be this is homegrown. I think it's, I don't know, 100 years old. 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 100 years think it's coming from USA. I think it's about control. I think it's about surveillance. Bringing something in off the back of it. Creating fear. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? But ultimately, each side helps us to learn and question and discern and awaken. Let's end with a card from the Metatron deck. Archangel Metatron. We've got the energy of action, movement needed. We've got the gold cup of replenishment, the chalice, the Holy Grail, effectively. What do I want to say about that? I guess it's to do with taking action. Well, let me just show you the cards. Taking action towards the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is inside of us. The Holy Grail is the energy of love. The Holy Grail is the energy of union. Keep taking the steps, basically. Keep moving forward. This lady running beside the sea, I'd like to say it was me, but it's not, my friends. I haven't started running yet. I don't think my knees could take it, but start walking by the sea every day next year, definitely. Try to anyway, try to. What am I trying to say here? She looks happy. She looks free. There is nothing else going on in her world other than that moment, being present in that moment. The sun is shining, the birds are in the sky. Not drones, there are birds in the sky. There is sunshine, there is fresh air, there is activity, freedom, breathing the fresh air. She's unperturbed. It's very similar to this card, actually, from the other deck. It seems to be a message of whatever else is going on in the world around us. Stay true to who you are. Stay connected to your own self, to your body, to your higher self, to your God, whatever your version of God is, and keep moving forward towards enlightenment. That's our lesson in all of this, that whatever's going on out there is ultimately a projection of something that's come up from the collective. How we respond to it is up to us. Stay in your heart, stay in love. All is well. Hope that's helped, guys. Take great care. I'll be back in a couple of days with a video for solstice, which is coming up very soon. Lots of love, everybody. See you. Give me a little like if you've enjoyed the video. It helps get it out to people that really need it to see it as well. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. Bye.